So, but who plays for who? I mean, obviously the man in black are the black pieces, and obviously Jacob, since he presumably was in the white shirt, are the white pieces. So who plays for who at this stage in the game? Now, I'm just gonna say that I came to this conclusion when I was watching Jughead the other night, and this theory that I'm on a couple hours away from Lost tonight. I think that the entire show has made us believe that white, Team Jacob, fights for faith. It's kind of, you know, embedded into our brains that, you know, faith and holiness and religion and everything is a light, it's a whiteness and all this. So, you know, we've kind of subconsciously been led to believe that Jacob's team, the white team, is the faith team. Now, the man in black obviously would then be the science, but who I think plays for who at this stage of the game lends more to the fact that Jacob actually is the more science side, because I think Jack Shepard, like I said in my last video blog, that he's the new Locke. You know, he found faith through science. I think it's a mishmash. I think that Jacob he's Jacob's #1 man. I mean, now that Jacob's dead, you know, Jack's obviously the leader of the white team. So, you know, with Jack, who's he connected with the most on the island? You know, people would obviously say Kate quickly, but I'm going to say more Claire. I mean, Claire is his half-sister, which then got me thinking, you know, there's another half connection on the island, and that's Penny and Faraday. You know, Faraday's actually the child of two others, you know, Charles and Eloise. But Penny, we've never met Penny's mother. I don't think, if I'm wrong, correct me, but I don't think we know who Penny's mother is. So, you know, I started looking at that dynamic, the family dynamic, and from that, it completely spidered out, and I realized that in season 2 we got to see an episode called The Long Con, and Sawyer, you know, he's the middleman. He's, you know, the lovable scoundrel, and we got to see the inner workings of a con within a con within a con. And I think from that conversation that we got to see on the beach, when the man in black mentions the loophole, and then obviously, you know, we saw in the incident when the loophole occurred, that the man in black was actually being completely conned by Jacob. The man in black, if he appeared as Benjamin Linus's mother, sent the man in black, Ben on the path to becoming another, to corrupt the island from within, not from without. Now Jacob, on the other hand, we saw visited all of Oceanic Gate 15 at very pivotal points. Saeed in particular, where Saeed finally finds happiness, and yeah, like Charles Whitmore's guy was driving the car or whatever, according to Ben, that killed Nadia, but, you know, Jacob distracted Saeed so he couldn't see Nadia or protect her. So Jacob, in essence, sent Saeed on that path to go back to 1977, to kill Benjamin Linus, to make Benjamin Linus another. Now, if the man in black had his money on Benjamin Linus, obviously when Oceanic Flight 815 comes crashing down, he has his money on John Locke. Because according to everyone on the island, Jacob has professed that John Locke is the next leader. Well, the man in black sees an opportunity with Jack Shepherd, leadership qualities, all of this. So he starts pitting everyone against that John Locke, so they just don't follow blindly, causing this conflict. Now, here's where I think the underlying con happens on Jacob's behalf. He makes the man in black believe that his money is on John Locke to be the new leader, when it's actually on Jack Shepherd. Now, Jack and Christian obviously have that love-hate relationship and the push and the drive. Now, we've seen Christian, he claims he's the voice of Jacob to John Locke, to push John Locke. See, now, like, see this, hopefully you're starting to see some weird connections here, where I think the entire show's actually been about fixing Jack Shepherd to come to the island to fix the island. Because Jack Shepherd's father's push allowed him to become this amazing spinal surgeon to save Ben, to keep Ben on his path, which, is the man in black's path. So, and then there's Eloise, who has been exiled from the island. We're not sure why. Obviously, she may have been exiled because of Daniel. Who knows? But, she's left to raise Daniel. And much like Christian has this imposing, you have to do this. Jack, you have to be the greatest surgeon. Daniel, you have to be, the greatest physicist ever. And yet, they have these two half-sisters that have been left free to live their lives. And then, Penny and Desmond obviously before the island, and then Charlie and Claire on the island. Now here's where another interesting connection happens. Desmond's flashes start with Charlie. Charlie, not Penny's boat. God, I cried like a baby. And if you didn't, you have no soul. Yeah, it was just insanity. So Desmond gets off the island, marries Penny. They have a child. They name it Charlie, of course. So that's my teams right there. It's starting with Penny and Faraday and Jack and his sister Claire. Their father Christian, who I don't know if I mentioned before or not, I think was either on the island or another at some point. I kind of got this harebrained thing when I was at work today. Maybe he was the captain of the Black Rock and Albert was his first mate. Hey, who knows? So, that's who's fighting for Jacob come this final season. That will be the white team. And then, of course, if Saeed survives, hey, I think he's the goner. Then, obviously, the Man in Black's team is this new reincarnation of John Locke, Benjamin Linus, Saeed, and Sawyer, only because, like I preluded to last video blog I did, Saeed did his part and Sawyer is just the middleman, and unfortunately he's probably going to side with this bad side of Locke. But yeah, so yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at. I'm excited. Juliet, time traveler. Yes, why she's a time traveler. She detonated Jughead at the exact place that Desmond turned the key, and her constant is going to be a sister. Later.